Welcome to the Journeyman Cave, a podcast where we meet and chat with some of boxing's most seasoned road warriors, hosted by Mark Shakespeare and Chris Scarfe.
Welcome back to the Journeyman Cave, everybody. Round 14, Mr. Shakespeare. How you doing?
All good as always. Always good, me, mate.
We've been on as jollies for this one, haven't we? You want to tell them where we've been?
What's the second home, Scarfe? Come on.
It's sunny Bridlington on the East Coast.
Well, you see, I never knew Jake's not from Bridlington originally. He's from Bradford, as you'll find out. But when I actually found out there was a journeyman living in Bridlington at the time, he was never going to get away, was he?
I bet you were made up, weren't you?
Oh, remember my day, big time.
So tell everybody who we have got.
We have got Jake Pollard, or as now as he's known as well as his nickname, which we are part of as well.
Yeah.
Thanks to Mike Connolly, the Yorkshire Warrior.
What a nickname.
Yeah, it was the first T-shirt design. We've done a few since, haven't we?
We have. Well, you have, and Kev.
Yeah, and you're involved as well. You're involved as well, mate. But yeah, it'll be good to get Jake on. I think he'll probably be his first interview, properly,
right,
which is always good to get him out there first. And we'll talk about on this interview not only him being a journeyman and having over 40 fights now, so he'll be up to his half century by the summer, but also he's also his own manager and promoter.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, so obviously takes out that middleman, so we'll go into that a little bit. I know he's managing a guy called Nabil Ahmed, who's a great guy, another journeyman.
Yeah.
And it'll be good to get an insight from that. So I don't know if we've had a manager on, have we, last
I don't think so, no. We saw Jake only a couple of weeks ago. We went to the Magna. There was a show on there, GBM Sports, is it? And Jake were fighting, and we went in with him. And I had to laugh because it was a brilliant night. You know, we stood watching from one side, and I got my drink and what have you, and I'm stood next to you. Jake's in ring, and you're shouting and what have you, and I'm just watching. And then all of a sudden, you just march towards ring, and I'm like, what's he going? So he's up there, and you're next to the ring. I'm like, I'm going to have to take a photo of this because nobody will believe me.
I just think they're seeing me, that idiot with a crocodile on back, and nobody else goes to the away corner, so...
Yeah, nobody minded, did they? Yeah, it were a good do, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it's nice to be known, and it's nice to know we're getting respect, and it's nice, I think the fighters realise now that we are there for them. We're not out to make anything for ourselves, and we're really enjoying doing it, aren't we?
Yeah, I loved it. We bumped into a few people, Carl Sampson, Callum Simpson were there, weren't he?
We had Josh Warrington nicking my place in queue at toilet, didn't we? Who do you think he is?
Yeah, there were quite a few people there who seemed to... I think James Harrington actually nodded hello as he went past to me when he saw the logo, obviously, on T-shirt.
Yeah, he must know us. And I think also on that, I'll have to get as well. I mean, if you do get the chance, that English title fight, Reece Mould. Whoa. That is a fight-of-year contender. So if anyone gets a chance to watch that, I will watch that fight. Yeah, it was a pleasure to be there for that.
I have to apologise because I had to drag you away, didn't I? We got an Uber booked, and my battery were like 2% or whatever. I thought, I'm not. If this dies, we're not getting home. I mean, and speaking of which, remember that taxi that dropped us off?
Right back at Manga, didn't he?
No, like we had bins and that.
I think there wasn't bin men there, weren't there?
Yeah, we'd never been before. And we had to make us way around to the front, but, all good fun.
Most certainly is, mate. It's all part of the fun, and we love doing it.
We do. So let's get Jake in, shall we?
Let's get him in.
We're on location again, Mr. Shakespeare.
It's a second home, though, this, mate, isn't it?
It is, definitely is, Bridlington. And not quite a day at the beach with this weather, is it?
Not in November, mate.
But speaking of beaches, Jake, Mark tells me you like to have a jog on Bridlington Beach. I bet you've got a story about this to tell us.
Get me in some situations, yeah.
Sounds like it. What happened?
Yeah, so every time I go running down here on beach, I can see Flamborough front bottom, and it's a long way. And I always think to myself, I'm going to run up to Flamborough one day. So I set about this day. It was winter, it was cold. Went on beach, I had no rush that day. Set off running up, felt good. I thought, yeah, do you know what, I'm going to run up to Flamborough today. Today's the day. So set about going up, got up to Bridlington, past Bridlington, felt good. So yeah, as I was getting further up, I had an idea about where we're going to get back up onto top, which is just before Flamborough. I've been down the path before, and you could get down and up.
Yeah, you could at one point.
Yeah. So as I'm going, I'm running, and so I'm nearly there. I'm just before the peak where it comes out to go back into Cove, like, and there's about 100 seals that come down. I heard this noise, this rustling noise. I thought, what on earth? I looked up, there's about 100 seals all rushing down. So I sat back. I thought, I better wait till they get out of the way, like. And then I went to this path that used to be there. That it were no longer there anymore, so you couldn't get up. So I come back out, and I decided to go round to Flamborough. I don't know why, because I've been loads of times with kids, and I know that the sea comes in, so you can't just get round. I know that, but it didn't click. I should have just gone back and. So I goes round cliff, gets to peak, and tides in, and it's a bit rough, and like I say, it was cold, like, and I thought, if I just climb round this bit of cliff here. Once I get round this peak, I'll be back onto the sand. So climb round that bit. So there's another bit what I need to climb round. So I'm thinking, what on earth am I doing here? And I thought about going back, and I thought it was quite hard that way, going back. So I'm better off going forward now. So I'm climbing round this one bit. I slipped and fell in. See, waves are gushing up and that. So I had to swim. I swum to a rock, and it was like. It were in sea, it wasn't at the side. So I climbed on this rock, had my phone in my pocket, and I was wrapped up, I had a body warmer on, and I were in shock, I were freezing, I had to rip all my top half off because it were heavy, and I were freezing. So if I could have got my hand in my pocket, got my phone out, and if I thought it had worked, but it was soaking, I'd have rung Coast Guard. I were that bad. And so I'm there, took all my clothes off, I thought, I can't freeze here, I need to act, I need to move. The only problem was, like, the rock, I had to obviously jump back in, which was the hardest part, because I knew how cold it was then. So I jumped back in, swum again to another rock, got on that rock, and it was just like never ending. I mean, and I had to, basically, I had to swim from the point all the way back in to the cove. And it were just like, there were rocks in between that I kept climbing on and getting out, but then I had to get back in. And because gaps were they weren't maybe about 8 foot, I was swimming. I was thinking, because it looked rough, and I'm thinking, Jesus, what if they drag me, or, but I just had to go for it. And thank God I got out. I jogged up upstairs. There was someone there waiting to pick me up. Which I was like an hour late because I wasn't meant to have all this going on.
How long did it last, this ordeal then?
Well, it was my ex-girlfriend who were waiting at top to pick me up, and she reckons I was maybe about an hour later than what I said I was going to be. Because I'd rung and said, I'll be there at 10, if you pick me up at 10, that's what time I should have been there. And then, and I was shaking and I was freezing, and I got in the car, and she said, do you want to take you to hospital? I was in a 8 state.
I bet they'll freeze
you. Take me home and a cup of tea, and have a cup of tea.
That'll solve it.
And once I've had a cup of tea, I'll see how I feel. If I need to go then, I'll go. And there was another thing about a bit later, she'd done a COVID test and she'd had COVID. So I did one out of interest. I had COVID.
Oh, no.
Throughout this whole ordeal. Dicing with death, and I had COVID as well. So
look at that, never still though, mate. They fitted a fiddle, aren't they?
Yeah, I'll keep going,
You never get... I mean, it wasn't that long ago. You were in Mount Snowdon, wasn't it?
Yeah, Snowdon, Ben Nevis.
Oh, you sent us a photo, didn't you?
Yeah, I did a 35-miler last Saturday.
Wow.
Ultramarathon, round Otley, Ilkley, Cowan Calf, all that. But yeah, I just like to challenge myself and push myself, which I've been challenging
myself. Better when it's planned though, isn't it? yeah. It's better when I'm not fighting for my life. But,
running's better than swimming, isn't it, mate?
Oh, yeah. Especially in cold sea water. Like.
I can't. No, I don't want to even think about it.
No, I don't want to go there again.
What were your toughest then, mate? Walk? Like Ben Nevis and that and all. Which were your toughest?
That Snowdon was most dangerous because we did Crib Gotch Path, which you
I
climb.
think I saw that on Instagram or something, yeah.
You climb up one mountain, like literally up a near vertical thing. You climb up it. You have to watch if you grab it rocks and they're solid, because if you grab one that's loose and it comes out, then you're down at bottom and that's it. And then we climbed to top at peak, and then you have to climb. There's like a peak that goes from one mountain on to Snowdon, so you have to climb up that. But you're climbing across the point, like. So that was most dangerous. Ben Nevis were tough because it was raining and it was cold there, did it? And I did it on my own.
I know you did.
To cross some waterfalls and stuff, and I thought, oh, it's slippery and I'm buggered. Like.
Looking at that Journeyman Cave t-shirt on to keep the warm.
Yeah.
Good God, look at that on, mate. That'd have been freezing.
Give me a bit of support, didn't it?
Most certainly. I think if it only support that would get from me and him going up Ben Nevis, mate, unfortunately. Wouldn't it?
I know about that.
But that 35 miler, that was like toughest mental challenge, really. I mean, last 5 mile legs, they just didn't want to move, and you had to tell them to move, you know.
That must be one of the fittest, if not the fittest journeyman about, Jake, because like you said, you're never still. It must be good for you. It must make you feel... Yeah. It must clear your mind. And...
I mean, I haven't always been like this. It's only been from the beginning of this year. I had a change in circumstances at home, and I've needed to set myself challenges and push myself just to keep me going, really.
It's a bit like Kevin Sinfield, isn't he? Who does all this running, like 25 MMD and that for Rob Burrow, and he says... If it weren't for him doing his running, he said mental health would be that's his medicine.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a bit like you
I
as well.
need it. Yeah, I know. I need to do it because I know I need to challenge myself, push myself, and it makes me feel fantastic. And when I'm fit like that, and I can overcome challenges like the big run or mountain stuff like that, it makes me think that my day-to-day challenges, they don't seem as tough in your head. You know. That you think, wow, I pushed myself through a wish, that was really hard, I've done that. Then your day-to-day life, it seems a bit easier. You don't seem fazed by anything, you just take it with both hands. And...
They say I can't run, but walking's mine. It does me well, the good walking. I mean, I walk miles and miles a day. I'm still a bit of a chubby lad, like, but, you know, I do it up with a lad. I know I like me walking, and like you say, it's good therapy, mate. You should be proud of what you've done, mate.
Yeah, cheers, mate, yeah.
Should be really proud.
There'll be some more challenges before long.
And now then, we're going to fate record now then. 41 fates so far, mate.
Well, it will be after them too, yeah. I'm on 39.
Yeah, but it won't be. By the time this goes out, you'll be way past that, mate.
Oh, yeah.
39 so far, 2 lined up for Christmas, hopefully.
Yeah, one Friday, 25th November, and then one 16th of December. Yeah, and we're done for Christmas then.
We'll have to get into Josh Wales here and get the on at Barnsley.
Yeah, get on at some point.
Because we await you are, mate, they must be crying out for you.
Yeah, well, I can do it. Well, I'm doing 8-3 in December.
Wow.
Superfly I'm doing in December, which is a day before weighing. And then I used to fight up to 9-4. I did have one that I went, it was 9-4 day before I went, so I'm at my maximum, and I'd come in over 9-7. Which I took it and I did it in the end, but I've capped it now. I'm not above 9 stone.
No.
I mean, these lads, I'm 5 fighter, 9-4. I could go there. I could go after takeaway, or I could go have a night at pub and takeaway, and I could turn up and be 9-4.
Yeah.
These lads are coming down from maybe 10.5 stone to 9-4, so they're too big, you know, and there's no rush. I used to think I want to get them all in and take as much as I can. There's no rush with it, you know, and you've got to be sensible. I'm a manager now as well, so you've got to use your head a bit. And
you look after the fighters as well then?
I've just got one other fighter, Nabil Ahmed, who boxed last night. He did really well last night against a good amateur kid. He's just finding his feet, Nabil. He's fit now. He's been in with some real good lads. Nabil at the minute is fantastic. He's a great boxer. He's tough. He's got a full package really. He's a showman. He's giving him a bit of stick now as well, a bit of winding him up. And
I think you're both good for each other.
Yeah, we train together all the time, and he's a great guy.
Well, there's Jimmy the Fish knocking about, isn't there?
Jimmy, yeah.
What's he doing knocking around with you?
He takes us to shows sometimes. We had his first one. He'd cornered at York Hall a month or so ago. He took me and Nabil down. We both boxed there. Good night. We both got through. Good night at the office early. And then he took Nabil last night to Waddesdon. And yeah, they did a fantastic job, pair of them.
I've heard he's tough as nails and all.
Jimmy. Sparred him sometimes, and you can hit Jimmy with your biggest punch, and he'll just like nod at you as if to say, "Yeah, I can take that," you know. And he'll just keep coming. He's like, I think he's one of the very few people who quite enjoy getting it. I think he likes it because it gets him going, you know. And it's a very strange thing, but he's just an animal. Like,
I've heard little rumours that when he's sparring and stuff, he likes a little talk. I don't know if it's true or not. Like, and he just loves it, doesn't he? He just loves to be it.
You let him with your biggest shot, and he'll nod at you, and he'll go, "Yeah." He says, "Yeah," as if to say, "Yeah, I can take that." Yeah. And do you know what? He's the loveliest guy you'll ever meet. He's a fantastic guy. He's a really nice guy, and he can fight. And you know, especially at his age.
He just got back from Brazil, hasn't he? What's he been doing out there?
I don't know what his actual intentions were to go. I've spoke to him a lot about it, actually. I don't know if it was to train or to holiday or what, but I think he just did all of it anyway. He trained, he had an holiday. He goes to like biggest gyms in these places. He's done it a few times, and he'll go in and he'll ask for sparring with top lads and stuff, you know. And it takes some to go to a country like Brazil and say, "I want to spar. Who have you got?" And I'll spar best.
He loves it, doesn't he?
Oh, and yeah.
Do you know what I like about him and all? Thirsty. He's older than me.
You won't think it, especially if you saw him in the ring.
No, definitely. I've heard he had a fight with Lee Conlon, and Lee Conlon I were expecting a little bit, and he was very surprised when he got him what he did to him.
Lee said to me, he was expecting a fairly easy night. It was somewhat along them lines. He said, with Jimmy, when he saw his age, and he just couldn't believe it after. He said, you know, he just didn't expect it at all.
So managing-wise then, mate, you find it simple enough managing? You find it's the best thing you've done going on your own?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, all it's about really is getting the contacts. If you've got the contacts, who are going to ring you and give you work, that's it. The rest's easy. You know what? It's like Nabil, I know what weight we can take for him. And I suppose it helps with Nabil because I fight around the same weight, so some fighters I might have fought myself. And like if you fight at heavyweight, you might fight someone who can't box eggs but they can punch and stuff like that. Or you might get some mediocre guys. At our weight, they've all been national champions, or they're all good boxers. You don't get anyone who can't box at featherweight. They can all box, you know. So, yeah, it is tricky looking for fights sometimes. And people can try stitch you up. And you've got to know what you're doing so you don't get stitched up, because they will.
Of course they will.
You know, and I don't think they realise that it's so dangerous, and it's your health. They just want to throw you to dogs, some people. I mean, some people are fantastic and they'll look after you and they're real good, but others just want to throw you to dogs. And
Have you never had a manager then? Or?
Yeah, I did have a manager, Abdul, and he's a good guy. I speak to him. I hadn't spoke to him for a while, actually. We didn't fall out. I just decided that I wanted to go and manage myself. But yeah, I mean, it were good because it learnt me how to manage, you know. It learnt me what I need to do. I built up the experience. I've only started managing myself this summer, just gone. Oh, yeah. So yeah, I managed for 3 years, I think. Or 4 years, maybe even. But yeah, it helped me find my feet. But yeah, it's definitely a best decision I've made, and it's easy.
I think you might find a few more doing that, you know, going forward. No, now you've done that.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't understand why you need someone. So you get a promoter, he's going to text your manager. Your manager's then going to text you. If you're only cutting out that man,
middleman, yeah.
And it's easier to do. Like if a promoter asks me if I'm available on this date, I can tell him. If he asks my manager has to say, wait a minute, I'll find out. And then he has to ask me, and then he has to go back to him. Then it has to go back to him. It just makes sense, you know.
Yeah.
So, and as long as you can deal with people, like I say, it is just getting in with people. But luckily, we friendly with some good promoters and matchmakers, so we are keeping busy.
Well, you have got your head screwed on, mate, as I can tell.
I try.
So, you have, mate, I can tell. And I think you'll probably get a few more on board,
Yeah.
I bet you will.
It's got to grow, surely, it can only... I mean, I have... the lad who rung me the other day, he said that they'd asked for Nabil when he fought last night, and they'd said, who manages Nabil? And I've had a few people say, who's managing Jake Pollard? So, and it's all getting back, so eventually people are just going to know, they're not going to need to ask a question.
Yeah, word'll get round, won't it?
Yeah, and I mean, we're good to... I deal with people well. We're good with weights. We don't mess about. We're not, we're getting weights bang on. We make sure we're there. We know we're not awkward. So yeah, I can imagine it's only going to get bigger.
Yeah, and like you said, if you're turning up there professionally, on the weight, doing everything right, you're turning up, they're going to use you again, mate.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, like I've just said about a minute or so ago, you will get more and more on board with you.
Yeah.
Pollard's promotions will be coming soon, mate. Won't it? That'll be loaded.
Well, I did it as well. I thought, when I do come to retire, I'd like to stay in sport as well. And it's a good way to do it then. I can... And at the minute, I'm building up a lot of experience as well. So I'll have loads of experience. Yeah. And I've fought myself, so I know how it is on both sides at fence. So, yeah.
Have you always been into boxing?
When I was a teenager, I first went... My dad took me to Cleckheaton Boxing Club. There was a fella called Keith. He's passed away now, sadly, but my dad took me down there, and I trained down there a bit. And he said to me, Dad, keep him coming because he's good. And it was 6-week holidays from school, and I was out with my mates. And my mum rang me and said, "You got boxing?" I said, "Yeah, I'm staying out with my mates, Yeah. And that was that when I was a teenager. And so I didn't do all then. And then I think when I was 21, I went down. I was over East Coast doing my apprenticeship. I went down to a gym down in Hull, East Side, with a fella called Mike Dyson.
That's been mentioned a few times to me, that gym,
East Side.
Yeah.
It was Mike Dyson, he's called, and I started there, and I don't know if I had 6 amateur fights with him. We went to Denmark to a boxing competition and stuff, and he's a good guy, Mike Dyson. And yeah, I got going then. I had a few back in Bradford. I went to Peter Cannon's gym, Sedgeburg, in Bradford. I had a few with him. And then I stopped. And then I had a few white collars on and off, but they were only half-hearted, like. And then it were Peter Cannon, actually, at Sedgeburg, who said to me, because I would go to these white collar fights, just away fighter. And he said, "What are you doing? You can do the same as a pro, but the money's money worth doing rather than you just doing it for 100, 200 quid as a white." So eventually I did it. So yeah, I had a few years off between, but eventually I got going.
Well, before I start asking you about a few fights, mate, can you tell us about your career, mate? It's very interesting. You're a farrier, aren't you?
Farrier.
Farrier. I knew I'd get it wrong. I've never heard it before.
Yeah, farrier. So basically, yeah.
You work on boats then?
No, not on boats. It's horses. It's horse shoes. So you put shoes on horses' feet, basically, which is a very hard job. It took me 6 years on and off college and apprenticeship and stuff to get qualified. But I don't work myself into the ground with it because it's hard work.
I can't imagine there's many around.
There's more than you think, but
Is
there's
there?
still not a lot, yeah. And there's not as many at the minute, to be fair, because people are not wanting to do it as much because it's very, very hard job. And you're dealing with, I mean, especially in winter, you go into jobs where horses are covered in mud, which they shouldn't be. You can't draw a nice picture on a muddy piece of paper, can you? So how can you do a nice job on a horse that's covered in mud? And you're getting grief and horses pulling you about a bit, and it might look like it's just moving a little bit, but it bloody hurts. It hurts your back, it hurts your legs, it hurts your hips. Put it this way, it's easier getting punched in the face than shoeing horses.
It is it then, mate? Has I been punched in the face with an oof?
No, ain't back. I bust my ribs one time.
Oh, I can imagine they hurt then, I know.
Proper one in my ribs.
So what do you do then? Do you have to like take the horseshoe off? Then would you have to like sand it all?
You take the old one off.
Right.
And then you clean it all out. You've got to trim the foot because it grows. It's like a nail.
Yeah.
It keeps growing. Trim it down. You've got to make sure it's balanced, you see. They all can go in different directions and you know, there's all sorts of things. So you've got to make sure it's balanced, trim it, and then you get your shoe in fire, warm it up so it's red, knock it about your anvil so it fits the foot, because they're all different shape, you see. Make it, and then you get a quick burn on, make sure it fits so it's all smoke and it's all sizzling away. And then you whack them in a bucket of water, cool them out, get your nails and bosh them on then.
Wow, how long does one of them last then?
They're meant to be done between 6 and 8 weeks.
Wow.
So we'll go back. So about 2 months you're looking at. Go back, take all ones off, chain them. Some people will leave them until they fall off. Some will get them done once a year, you know. But that's the guide, 6 to 8 weeks. Some people book them in religiously, which is the best thing to do.
Never short on work then?
No, I have a lot of jobs texting me from the shoeing job, and I don't go because you don't know what you're turning up to. You don't know what the people are like, you don't know what the horses are going to be like. It's a dangerous job, you know, the big animals, and once you're there, you're in a situation. If I pick that horse's leg up, I've started it then.
Yeah.
And if it starts trying to kick and bite me, I'm in a situation, I'm there. So I find it easier now just to not be in that situation. Unless I knew someone and they said, look, this is my friend, they're really nice, the horses are fantastic, will you go do them? Then I'd say, yeah, I'll go. But apart from that, I don't go to new jobs.
I just wanted to know that, 'cause it's very interesting. I don't like my horse racing, me saying that, no. Like an old bet. I know it's not same, but...
I've got a good friend who, he lives up near York, Liam Murray. He actually owns a couple of racehorses now, and he does racehorses all the time. I find them quite difficult, but...
Have you done any racehorses?
You know, I just find them, they're that fed up. They're like a pro athlete, like they're fed the foods. Their heads are buzzing because they're fed to work and the job is to run. And so when you try to put shoes on an animal that's fed and it's like that, it's hard work. Like.
Right, we'll move on to the career, mate, right? Like I said, 39 so far.
Yeah.
2 more lined up for Christmas.
Yeah.
We need this win, don't we?
Yeah.
A draw would be nice and all, mate. A draw, a class of win anyway, because let's face it, if you get a draw, you know you won.
It's difficult. I mean, I've had fights at people, you know, people high up in the show have come and said, I thought you won. And then if you get a point, you probably should have drawn. To get in that win, I mean, for an away fighter to solidly get the win, you've got to knock them out. You can win on points sometimes. They're getting it, especially. I mean, now there's a lot of lads getting wins.
Recently,
but you don't just have to do enough to win. You have to, you know, to win. Yeah, you have to make them look silly to win. You've got to knock them out, really. But yeah, I might flatten someone before long.
Well, Nabil's always got that one up on there at minute, mate, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's done it. He's got that win, hasn't he? He's done it.
He's doing fantastic, Nabil. He's a tough fight. Apparently they'd asked for him last night and matchmaker said, I don't know why they've asked for him. And I said, the only reason I can think of is a tough fight is Nabil. He'll test lads.
Yeah.
You know, he'll have a good go with them and he'll test them. I said, that's the only reason I can think of. They want a bit of a test. They want a bit of a scrap for lad.
Well, he's coming down to Barnsley, isn't he?
When is it?
We haven't booked him in yet, but he said he wants to come down.
Yeah.
He's only in Backley, so he's not far away.
Yeah.
And I think he liked his T-shirt, so we got him.
Oh, I loved him, yeah. He wore it last night.
He never did he? Oh, that's great. It's great to see that,
They were calling him the Bulldog.
Well, like I said, we don't get him. They just get a little bit of fun back.
Yeah.
I know the Stainforth Chuck Norris has gone down well.
Ah, yeah, you said that, yeah.
I think he wore it but yeah, I hope you like yours and all, mate.
Oh, it's brilliant, yeah.
There's a couple of fights here, starting off. I know you got knocked out in this one, unfortunately, mate. I don't know if you got stopped on your feet or what, but I quite like Chris Borg.
Yeah.
And I think he's a good fighter.
Yeah.
I've been in contact with him before. What were he like?
Good. Pressure. Southpaw, which I find awkward. Pressure, but the right kind of pressure, like he were walking you down, making you throw, and then opening you up when you know, backing you into a court. I had no experience in it. It was my second fight. I probably shouldn't have fought him. If you look, he had one fight before me, which was Ricky Starkey. Mm-hmm. Not Ricky Starkey, sorry, Ricky Leach. He stopped Ricky Leach. Ricky Leach is an established journeyman by him. It was my second fight. I shouldn't have really fought.
Some bottle though, mate, aren't they?
But yeah, I just were at like open throat, and yeah, he just put the right kind of pressure on me. He put me down late in the second round with a body shot. I got up, went to corner, come back out. Same pressured me, put me down. I got up. He didn't hurt me. He just put me down. And ref waved it off. He just like, you've had enough. And I couldn't argue with him. Like, we're taking punishment that I didn't need to take, really. So yeah, it was good. I don't think he'd stop me now. So in my opinion, but I don't think now he'd stop me. But
you have to learn trade somewhere, mate.
Yeah.
And like he says, went on to win British title, didn't he?
Yeah.
And I think he lost it now. I think
he lost to
Matt Leach,
didn't he?
another good fight. He's lost it since then again. So it's changing hands just proves a competitive division, that, doesn't it? And then what do you fight after? You went to Sheffield, our arch enemy Sheffield next door there. Having a bit of a joke there, not really from Barnsley. Kane Savlin, he gets a bit of a mention a lot.
Yeah, I fought Kane. We went into that fight. I think he was very nervous. He turned up late and he was a couple of pounds overweight, I think. And when we got into the fight, I were doing my trade, I were on my back foot, I were moving about. Kane were following me, but he never sent to pin me down. And we didn't really, there wasn't much action in that fight. I think his corner, from video, said something along the lines of, if you don't start punching, I'm going home. And then when I watched the video back, the ref said, stop boxing when we were holding. And the commentator had said, stop boxing, I think they need to start boxing. So yeah, me and Kane, we didn't really... I think he was nervous that night. I could be wrong, I don't know what his situation was, but we didn't really throw many punches in throughout the fight.
Nice little easy payday for you, mate, and then won it.
Yeah, we both got to end without any issues, so I was happy with that.
Close fight as well, 58, nearly a draw then, mate. Wow. Nearly, Conor Coghill.
Yeah.
What you reckon?
Good fighter. He's on thing, he put me down. He didn't put me down, I slipped. His corner even said I'd slipped, but the ref counted me anyway. Yeah, but he was a good fighter. I mean, he was saying, put pressure on. If I did try to throw any shots at him, we were back out and back in before I knew it. But so yeah, it was good. It was an hard fight for me. I saw him fight a Russian kid, I think, on a show that I boxed on in Hull. His last fight before Kane, and he got in some trouble there.
Yeah.
He was nearly stopped a couple of times. So yeah, and then I watched him fight Kane. I thought after fighting both of them, Conor were going to dominate the fight, but I know he won. But
yeah,
I just definitely don't think he dominated the fight. I think it were, there wasn't a lot in it really.
No, that was good.
Kane took it to him, and
yeah, because Samson's there, isn't he? Samson's in the mix there, isn't he, as well, Carl? Yeah. He bet Savlin, didn't he?
Yeah.
He's got to be one of the most dangerous out there.
Yeah, and he's a lovely lad. But yeah, I mean, it's a shame that people are pulling out of fights with him. It's ridiculous, really.
Well, when you keep a winning, mate, the phone stops ringing.
I understand. Obviously, I understand how it works. I'm a journeyman. But another way I see it is, if you're an up-and-coming fighter, you're a known fighter, you're looking at big things, you've got your training camp, you've got your food right, you've got all the time to do it, you've got sponsors. If you can't turn up and beat a journeyman, what are you doing? You're going
to test yourself.
It'd be different if the journeyman had the same and they were losing to him. Because I'm not saying it's the person, but the circumstances are different. The home fighter's got everything, laid out for him to be a fantastic fighter. The journeyman, usually, he hasn't got sponsors. He funds everything himself, so he has to go to work. He has to train when he comes home from work, so he's tired. He's probably got a fight in that training camp that the home fighter's got, the journeyman's probably got 3 or 4 fights throughout their training camp.
Of course he has.
They're training for one fight. The journeyman, he hasn't even thought about that fight yet because he's got 3 others to get through before he gets to that.
You have to worry about sparring, do you?
No. Well, that's another good thing. Yeah?
It's like you said, these guys, these prospects, like you said, they might fight at the most, 4 or 5 times a year, would you say?
And that's a lot, isn't it? 5.
It's a lot. I'm saying I'm going up higher up. Whereas you guys, you've got to be at it all times, waiting for phone to go. You've got to keep, active. You've got to keep
and you've
training.
got to adapt to every fight. You're fighting that many different styles. You've got to just focus on that.
Definitely, mate.
How many fights you had this year? Do you know?
No, I don't actually.
You've taken a step back a little bit, though, haven't you? Because I came when we went for a coffee, and first time I met him, Scarfe, he said, I did look fit.
Yeah.
I mean, they always look trim, mate. First time I went for a drink, and you were really buzzing, and you've been out for a few weeks, a few months, and you were saying, I want to be back out there now, I want to be out every week.
Yeah.
And then you had a fight, didn't you? And you got stopped, didn't you?
Yeah.
You knew yourself, it wasn't for you to be out every week.
I mean, if my situation were right, I'd like to fight every week, and I'd like to fight basically anyone, especially if they were right weight. But situations changed. I see my kids now just on a weekend, so I can't every week bugger off to London to go fight. It's especially like the full days. So then I only see my kids Friday after school, and then Sunday before I've got to take them back, and it's not enough. Especially from before when I were seeing them every day, and I'm an active dad as well, so I like to do stuff with them. So yeah, my circumstances change now. Maybe once a month, it keeps some money in so we can do plenty of stuff with kids, and then I still get my time with them as well. It'd be a bit more accurate, but I just can't do every week. Like I say, if my circumstances were different, I'd fight every week, and I'd love it, I'd enjoy it, but I think I did 5 on trot one time, 5 weeks on thing, and I loved it. But yeah, you've just got to go. Like, there's other things in life, isn't there? And money's not everything as well.
Money's not everything, mate. And like you said, family always comes first. And
as long as you've got enough money to do the things you want to do with your children and stuff, then you don't need no more. If you've got enough money to pay your bills and take your kids where they want to go, what more do you need?
And like you said, you're self-managed now as well, so you takes that middleman out, mate, and you can do what you want when you want. So I think you do it right thing.
Yeah.
If you ask me, pal, I definitely do. So a couple more fighters, like you said, I don't know him myself, but I'm just looking at his record, whether it's a padded record, I don't know, but as I heard a saying at Leeds, 14-1 here when you fight him. Yeah,
real steady fight. He didn't put much pressure on. One thing he did do that really annoyed me, actually, and if I could go back then I'd do something back to him. When we ended up in clinch, I had my head down, he had his arm round my head, and he squeezed my jaw.
Never?
Yeah, squeezed me, and it hurt as well. I couldn't believe it.
Game up blacklist, we're having him.
Yeah. I had my head down, he had his arm round my head, and he squeezed my jaw, and it hurt, and I just was shocked. Like, I just didn't... I didn't know. I thought, what's he... I just couldn't get my head around it at the time.
Right. Goodness me.
Yeah. Squeeze, yeah.
I said you want that.
It hurt. I tell you
little
what.
sneak.
Yeah, it's all right getting punched, but I think it'll mark shock though. I just couldn't believe it.
What did he like pull a face off after you come out at clinch or all? Didn't it? We're just normal to him then, wasn't it?
It must have just been, because it wasn't like it were a rough fight or it were getting dirty or there were no build up to it. And he just done it and I couldn't believe it.
Little sneak, right, definitely on blacklist him. How dare you hit one of our journeymen like that?
If I got half a chance.
Disgusting. Nah, I'm sure he's a good lad and we'll let him off. But, it's definitely a new one to me.
Never had no other issues with him, but I just couldn't believe it. I was gobsmacked.
Yeah. Is anybody else who stands out for you, Jake, in your record who you've had?
My 2 hardest fights, I'd say. It's hard to say hard fights, because someone who I fought in my 2nd or 5th fight or whatever might have been an hard fight, whereas now I'd think maybe not. So it's hard to gauge, but the 2 best lads I'd say I'd fought were Conor Burton, were a very hard fight.
Yeah.
In Oldham. He's been quiet actually lately, I don't know. if he's not fighting anymore. But he were a very tough fight. Good lad, put pressure on, puts his shots together well, strong as well. And one I fought in Swansea, not that long ago now, Brandon Scott. It was his debut.
I have heard of Brandon.
We had a long day. We went down to Swansea.
That is a long day, that, mate.
We were on last.
Was Nabil on that show as well?
No,
just you?
Yeah. We were on last, so we didn't get on well about 11 o'clock at night.
Were you a floater?
No. They told us, they said to us, look, this lad's not going to be on early. He's sold most at show out. It was his debut, but he'd sold most at show. They said it. So, and as time went on, it were about 11 o'clock at night. We got in ring 11 o'clock at night, like, I just want to get done.
You just don't want it, do
He's
you?
making a song and dance, coming in a Darth Vader outfit.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we're like, come on now, we just want it. Next thing, he's there with Darth Vader, they all like, having a 8-ball, all of them, videoing him, and he's lapping it up and that, and me and Mark were just like, what is going on here? We just want to go home. But good kid, very good. I've seen him fight. He's fought twice since. And his last fight, he come out as Karate Kid, if I can remember right. And he did a flip over ropes. And you know what? Fantastic. I mean, you need to be a showman in ring. You need to get the fans love it. You need to give them some money's worth. They're paying for tickets, so it's gonna do him very well. And he's a great boxer. He's strong. He's good pressure. Brilliant boxer. But at 11 o'clock that Saturday night, we didn't want to see Darth Vader.
Oh, God, that's laughing on to see anything. Someone from dark side bobbing out at that time. I don't know what that does that.
It wasn't what we wanted to see. But apart from that, no, he's doing brilliant.
Well, we need people like that in sport, mate. Yeah. I mean, there's some, I forgot his name now, that Laws from Newcastle.
Joe Laws.
Yeah. I think it might be Joe Laws or Geordie. I think Ryland Charlton bet him.
Right.
He wasn't the greatest, but he's a character and he can sell it.
Yeah. He
can sell an arena out and he's a good lad. So, yeah, even though I wouldn't have fancied Darth Vader 11 o'clock, I do like that idea.
Yeah.
He's a nice Karate Kid and dressed up.
Anywhere else I'd have loved it, but I wasn't loving it.
No, I don't think I would have. 7 or 8 o'clock and that first on, I can have a drink with him after or something.
Yeah.
But no, that's not for me either, mate. Can you remember Omar Dasari?
Yeah. Stepped in late to fight him. Nice kid. He got me some donuts something.
Oh, trying to fatten the up, was he?
Well, I don't know what his intentions were, but he said he were grateful that I'd stepped in to fight him. I think it wasn't weak. Got me some donuts. Fought him. I actually got him with a shot. I don't know if it was I think it was second round, maybe second up for, and he felt it, and he were in a bit of bother. And I went loading up, trying to take his head off. I should have put some nice shots together, and it might have worked, but I didn't. I threw kitchen sink at him.
Melt blood.
Didn't manage to land out. Third and fourth round, then I was buggered. Could barely stand up. I was that tired, and he just played into me. So. But yeah, nice kid.
Them donuts had secret power.
Donuts got me.
They did, yeah. And then moving a bit further on from that, Jake, another 8-0 here at time like this was this year, Andre Grant.
Yeah, fought him twice.
Yeah, I thought I was, words out of mouth there, mate.
Yeah.
What do you reckon to that one? Because that's not a bad little record start off, is it?
Yeah, good
6 rounder that as well, second then.
Second one was 6 rounder. I was actually meant to fight somebody else on that show, a 4-rounder. And I don't know if they'd had problems with the medicals. They'd pulled out and they'd said, I think it wasn't weak, they'd said there's still a fight, same show, 6-rounder, Andre Grant. So I said, yeah, I've fought him before. I'll take it. I think good fighter. He put a bit of pressure on me. Knew I was in a fight, but didn't really get any problems. He'd progressed a lot since first fight. He were a lot better fighter the second fight. But yeah, it were just a good night in the office early.
Yeah, nice 6-rounder, mate.
Yeah.
Bit of extra cash in your pocket for that night, will there? Yeah, does 6-rounder, 4 rounds tell a difference to you? Do you feel drained after, or you're all right anyway?
Yeah, fine, yeah. And it doesn't seem... I mean, when you get to 4, if you've had an hard 4, you think, I couldn't imagine doing another 2. But when you're in a 6-rounder and you get to end at 4th, you think, I've done 4, it's only another 2.
I suppose people pay to send us more as well, though, don't they, if they're in 6 a little bit as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then the old knockout, mate. When you told me you were a bit upset about it and you weren't happy, were you? What happened that night, mate?
Like I say, my situation earlier, team kid on a weekend, it had been in, but I'd had 2 fights. I fought week before, and then I went there. So week before, Jimmy and Nabil at your call, and I went down and I said to him, I'm a bit sad leaving kids and that, but just like pushed it off. And we actually were on 1st and 3rd or something that night. Everything were a bit manic when we got there. Yeah. Probably not really much time to think about it. Got back, dropped them back on Sunday, didn't see much of them. Same again week after. And I was thinking to myself, well, I'm doing it for money so we can do stuff, so you just got to get on with it, you know. Got down there, didn't feel the right thing, but sometimes you feel a bit nervous and I ignore my nerves anyway. So it was just another feeling that I was just ignoring. And I just didn't want to be there, really.
I can remember you say you caught you with a body shot and put you down, and you said yourself that in a different another town, you could have got up and you could have...
Oh, yeah. They were just... He got me with a body shot in second. But in the fight, I'm usually really relaxed. Even if they're throwing kitchen sink at me, I can relax a bit. And in the fight... He were backing me up. He were aggressive. He were putting pressure on. I were like juddering. I were edging. Should I throw? Then when I was throwing, it were like a panic shot. Half-hearted. I were throwing it. Just and it wasn't. I wasn't comfortable because when I was throwing it, and then I was thinking, I shouldn't have thrown that. I'm gonna get caught. And so when he knocked me down, I got up. I thought to myself, I'm going to get really hurt here if I'm not careful. Because I knew I wasn't on the ball. You've got to be on the ball. You've got to be focused. Especially with a fighter who were in my face constantly. You've got to be switched on. And I wasn't switched on. And when I got up from body shot, I thought, I'm going to get hurt here. And that's when I just said no. And I just said to the ref, I've had enough.
Well, maybe then 28 days out. What a good thing for you,
Done
mate.
It well, they're good. It made me look at things in a different light. A light that I needed. Because if that hadn't have happened, I'm glad it happened in a sense. If it hadn't have done, I'd have been fighting every week. I wouldn't have been spending as much time with kids. I'd have been thinking it's all right because I'm getting money in. But it's not all right. Like I said, time's more important than money.
Oh, certainly.
But I had a wrong mindset because I was just ignoring that bit, thinking I'm getting money, so I'm doing it, for kids kind of thing. So I need it. I'm glad it happened. It needed to happen to make me open my eyes.
Yeah, we had a talk, didn't we, after that, and I could tell you what.
Yeah.
It made you think, didn't it? And sometimes I'm a big believer that things happen for a reason, mate.
Exactly, I'm exactly.
And like you said, you had that 28 days off, and you've come back in there with Lewis Morris, who were 4-0 at the time as well.
Yeah.
So, and you've got through that one. Did you feel better for it?
I was glad I went. I think I was maybe a bit more nervous just from last fight, what happened.
The demons, they're just like...
Yeah, but it didn't... I won, like I said, with that fight with Shabir, where I were panicking, I were throwing and I shouldn't have been throwing. I wasn't like that. I was relaxed. I think I was just maybe a tad more nervous than I usually would be, but I was relaxed, and I'm glad I went, done it, brushed off cobwebs. And we're good to go Friday now.
Definitely, mate, definitely. Good to see you, Nick.
Where are you Friday?
Sunderland. I've got Sam Menzies. Nabil's also fighting on show.
Should be a tough fight, that, mate. It should be a good little dance around that for you.
Yeah, 6-rounder.
A 6-rounder?
Mm-hmm. So I'm looking forward to that.
What's Nabil got, do you know?
I can't think of his name now. It's on my phone.
It doesn't matter, mate.
Nabil's got a good kid. He's about 15-1.
Wow. So some good credit between you there, mate. Yeah. So I always like to finish, mate, moving forward. Have you got any goals? I always ask everybody goals. Have you got a goal in mind Do you want to get to 100?
At the minute, I'm enjoying learning.
Yeah.
Because these fights are a massive learning curve, you know, and I've progressed so much as a fighter in these last few years, just taking these fights and getting in. So I'm enjoying learning, trying new stuff. We always have a good laugh when we go boxing, you know, it's good fun.
You need to though as well, mate. You need that on the road.
Yeah. I mean, away side, I think, is brilliant. You're in them away changing rooms. Everyone cares about each other. All of the journeymen, they want you to be safe, they want you to get through. When you get through that fight as well, it's like when you get through, so your away fighter, you're fighting someone who's been training all 8 weeks for you, they've been set the thing out on you. If you get out of that fight and they haven't stopped you, especially when they're really trying to, that's a win. Yeah. You're fighting a man who's coming to take your head off, he's been training for you for 8 weeks, he can't do it. You know, that's a win for a away fighter.
Well, it's like, I'm just dead chuffed, mate, that, you know, you've had that 4 round under your belt since that stoppage. And I'm hoping two fights that'd be a good Christmas present for me, Jake. That could pull me a winner out.
I'll get a winner.
I know. And Mike Connolly has nicknamed the Yorkshire Warrior, so are they sticking with it?
Yeah, I might as well. That's decent, right?
We've got t-shirt now.
Yeah, t-shirts here.
Oh, God, it cost me a bloody fortune, them t-shirts, I know. I'm skinned.
We appreciate it anyway.
Yeah, I bet you bloody do. No, it's great to see you, mate. It's all a bit of fun.
Just thinking, I've just spotted a guitar in the corner. Is that yours?
It was bought in the process to learn, and I hadn't yet learned.
You got a musician here, you know.
Is it?
Professional bass player, this guy.
Maybe I would like to learn, but it's just getting time.
No, I don't practice.
You don't need to though, mate, do you? Proper bassist, this guy.
Well, I mean, I think you've, as we do wrap up, we've been promised we're going to be showing a bar in Jake's back garden.
Well, Scarfe has been nudging me for the last 10 minutes to get a pint.
I've seen something going on,
Yeah, so
give us a full tour.
Yeah. So, anyway, it's been an absolute pleasure to speak to you, Jake.
Thanks very much
and I'm sorry I haven't brought my gloves for you to sign, mate.
No, well, we'll get them done at some point.
Well, if you get in that garage, you might find that pair of shorts I was going to get me.
They're in my kit bag still.
Not them kind of shorts, boxing shorts. Anyway, mate, all the best. Cheers, good luck for the rest of the year.
Yeah,
right?
I appreciate it, fellas.
Thank you very much, mate, for coming.
Yeah, cheers.
Journeyman Cave is produced by Ryan Carrier. Music by Ryan Carrier. Special thanks to Rhythm Inc. Studios for hosting. All views expressed are of the guests only. The Journeyman Cave and hosts bear no responsibility for any opinions given. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter @The Journeyman Cave.